Hello, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'll be reviewing my custom LEGO Transformers Cybertron Optimus Prime. So, here he is in his fire truck mode, and in my opinion, this guy's actually looking pretty cool. From the side here, you can see he is probably the biggest alt mode that I've ever done, and one of the biggest Transformers I've ever done in general. I do think the shaping from the front is slightly too blocky, however, considering it's LEGO, I actually think it works pretty well. And we may as well do some comparisons. So here he is with Siege Optimus Prime, and you can see he absolutely dwarfs him. And here he is with a very small Cybertron Optimus Prime. For a normal deluxe scale, here he is with JP93. And I actually don't think the scale works too badly here. And here he is with Dragstrip as well, for your average carbot scale. Even with Speed Champions, I don't think the scale would be that far off, even if he is technically a fictional fire truck. The minifigure here also works quite nicely. So now time for the transformation. The first step is to remove the cannons, which can be attached in robot mode, however they're mainly here just to complete the vehicle mode, as he does look rather empty without them. The next step is to remove this entire section here. And now we have the vehicle without all the jetpack pieces. And to be fair, it doesn't actually look that bad here. However, I definitely prefer it with all the pieces attached. But for a standalone figure, it works pretty well. So to continue the transformation, we take the roof piece and fold it up. And now coming to the side, we can take this piece and just fold it out to the side on the hinges. Next, we're on to the bottom of the figure where we can unfold one of the arms. So it should just hinge right down, and using the stud you can just rotate it into place. It may look a little skinny right now, but that'll be fixed soon enough. So to bulk up the arms, you can take the front, and you can see there's some hinges, and it should just rotate down. And you can also take that black section, it should just rotate to the side. And that's it for the forearms. Now, using a ball joint inside the chest, we can take this entire section and rotate it up to the side. Using the actual ball joint at the shoulder, we can just take it and rotate this back to give us clearance for the next step, which is going to be coming to the side panel and squeezing it through the gaps and compressing it to the side, as you can see here. The reason the arm needs to be back for this is because it can't rotate round any other position without bumping into stuff, so we can now move the arm back to the normal spot. As you can see, there's a little black piece there, and it should just rotate around with the entire roof assembly as well, which, using the hinge, it should just rotate up, so it's all one long section. This piece can now be used to fill out the back of the arms, so it does just hinge down and cover up all this gap. We can now come to the forearms, and using the ball joint, it should just rotate around pretty nicely. And that's just about it for the arms. So onto the legs it is, and we can first start by just untabbing them from each other, as there's two connection points. And to unlock this next section, we can take the toes of the robot mode and just untab it slightly. This is going to allow it to rotate round onto the flat piece. And for the final step of the legs, we can take the double hinge and just compress it and tab it into the stud. This is a very simple set of steps, and it does help clean up the legs quite nicely. For the final step though, we can just take it at the hip and rotate it to the side. And that's about it for half the transformation. I'm not going to bother showing the other half, as it is just exactly the same, so we may as well get on to the more interesting stuff, which does involve taking the crotch plate and rotating it around at the ball joint. So now on to the final step, which is taking the head, and using the double hinge we can just rotate it up into the place. And that is it for the transformation, so here he is in his robot mode. Obviously I'll review him without the jetpack first, but anyways, here he is with Siege Prime. And this guy is absolutely massive compared to him, but I really do like how big he is. He's also around twice the height of your average deluxe class figure, which is pretty cool, as I do imagine a fire truck transformer to be pretty big in real life. Unfortunately, the posability on this guy is not the greatest, as the shoulders are slightly limited going out to the side, but he does have a clean backpack anyway, which does sort of make up for the lack of posing, as this guy would definitely be more for display, as you don't build LEGO Transformers to pose them, but I do really like the head sculpt I've created here, as well as this chest piece, which looks pretty accurate to the design, even if it is slightly simplified, just due to the LEGO design. He does also feature one of the Creo Autobot symbols, which looks pretty cool here. However, this is only on one side, as I didn't have two of them. The arms here also look pretty cool, even if they do have a cancerous tumour growing on the other side, but that doesn't really bother me, as the original toy did have pretty big fists there anyway. I do also really like the legs, as they are pretty clean, but they do have quite a lot of studs showing because I just didn't have enough blue panels to cover them. But apart from that, they look pretty cool here, and they're also quite accurate to the original design. I don't have the original toy, but I have this smaller version, which they do actually look kinda cool together. It's like a father and a son. But onto the main event, the jetpack. So the first thing to do is come to the top, and you see those red panels? Well, they're going to need to be removed. And once this is done, we can come to the ratchet joints here and just rotate the section around. The reason it's ratchets is because this just helps hold the jetpack up so it's not wobbling around. You can probably guess the next step is rotating the wings out, which will look pretty cool once it's on the final design. To attach this jetpack, it should just tab into the top. There are two studs and they should tab into anti-stud connections next to the ratchet joints. And here's the connection I was speaking about. Even though it's only two studs, it still holds them up very securely. And we can come here, and using those red pieces, they should just tab onto the heels. These aren't 100% necessary, however, due to the extra weight the backpack's added, I think it just helps to have those heel pieces. And they don't compromise the look from the front too much. From the front here, you can't really tell. However, from the back, you can see this enormous wingspan that has been added to him. And for comparison, here he is with Siege Prime again. Unfortunately, I didn't do any of the height increasing that the original did, as this guy is already tall enough and I can barely fit him in my review station. Moving the camera up, however, you can see the wings, and in my opinion, this guy looks incredible, and he may be one of the top 5 builds I've ever done. Here you can see the wings, and they do look really cool here. And if you're a fan of Cybertron Optimus, then you'll definitely love this build. But that's about it for this review, as there is not much posability going on here just due to the wings compromising the arms even more. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time.